this is it, people. I just got home from seeing the Super Mario movie. I actually went to go see it with my niece and nephew, so that was a nice little bonus. But yeah, I'm here to talk about the movie. I'm here to give my review. I'm not like one of those other people who are cool enough to see it before it came out. I had to wait and see it for it to come to theater and see it. And I'm looking forward to giving you guys my thorough review. So we're going to get into that after the intro and Mario punches you in the face. Alright, well, you guys know what to do, like and subscribe. And yeah, I just saw the movie. I enjoyed it. It was pretty much what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting anything amazing. I wasn't expecting anything earth-shadowing. I was hoping it'd be a little bit funnier. I was kind of hoping that maybe it would be a little bit... they would have some jokes that could be like, you know, jokes for the parents, for the people that are bringing their kids or younger ones to see the movie. But yeah, this is pretty much straight up a kids movie. There's not really any type of like slightly, not edgy, but humor that older people that would go to see this movie would, you know, find funny. I mean, there were no laughing haha moments, but it was filled with tons of Easter eggs. If you're a Nintendo person, whether it's Mario or anything, or you grew up playing the systems like I did, then you're going to recognize a lot of the Easter eggs that are happening during the movie. Perfect example would be like very early on when we open on a... Well, spoiler alert, we open on a trailer. Not a trailer. After the little intro, we see a little commercial with Mario and Luigi as plumbers because they're just about to strike out on their own as plumbers. So yeah, they have a little plumbing commercial, and they're in some kind of pizzeria. They're in some kind of pizzeria that's called a Punch-Out Pizzeria. So that's a very blatant Punch-Out reference. And on the wall, there's pictures of Glass Joe and some of the other boxers, but I recognize Glass Joe immediately. And, you know, lots of constant references to the world of Nintendo. So the show is filled with that. And I kept calling it the game, too, when I was trying to talk about it after. I kept saying game instead of show by accident. I don't know why. With the story itself, it was, you know, pretty general, like kind of like a game story where Bowser shows up and just wants to take over, but there is a complete lack of explanation for a lot of things. But again, this is a movie that's straight up for kids, like age 10 or under. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of parents going to this with their kids, so maybe they understand some stuff, maybe they don't, based on the level of knowledge of the series. But it was a very, very kid-centric movie. Even the humor was very basic. The music was so generic. I couldn't stand the music. They would just play every song you'd hear in any other movie, like Thunderstruck by AC/DC. If I had $1 for every time I heard that song in a movie, like, those guys must make so much money off royalties. Because I swear every second movie that comes out has Thunderstruck in it. And then it had like Take On Me by Aha, which is another song that gets used a lot. Very, very, very generic music. But they also had a lot of music playing that had a little bit from all the games in the music. Like it would be from Super Mario 3 to the first Super Mario. Then there was also like the GameCube intro music that I recognized. So there was constant music cues playing. I mean, there's constant musical cues playing that anyone who's played a Mario game would recognize. Like pretty much a little tiny piece of every single Mario game ever made was in this somewhere. So that was really nice. I like that. But the story itself, you know, nothing earth-shattering. Bowser wants to take over the world, and Peach needs to stop. But they never explained Princess Peach about why she was actually in Mushroom Kingdom. Like she had a little bit of backstory, but they never really explained how she just got there. She just was there. And then eventually, once she got old enough, they made her the princess. So automatically, so there was, I guess, no princess before that, or no other prince or king or queen land of the Mushroom Kingdom. In terms of the voice acting, I mean, I know that Chris Pratt got a lot of heat for his take on the voice, but I mean, you forget about that immediately. You don't even really think about it. I mean, Chris Pratt and Charlie Day both worked good for brothers with their voices and whatnot. But you know, they worked good together. They had kind of a, even though they're like, you know, doing voices, there's still kind of a chemistry there that I thought worked well. But they made Luigi, they kind of set Luigi up to be like a total idiot. Like he's just always getting into trouble, and Mario has to get him out. And then this part right here about how they get sucked into the hole to this other world had no explanation or made sense whatsoever. They were just somehow found this underground sewer system when they were trying to do something else. They find this big green pipe, which, you know, you see in all the Mario games, and somehow they just get sucked in there, and for whatever reason that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, Luigi gets sucked into the bad world and Mario gets sucked into the good world. And then, you know, he has to go to this world and team up with Peach to help defeat Bowser and save Luigi. And, you know, it's a pretty generic story. I mean, I kind of feel like they could have went a bit farther with that and maybe used a more elaborate story from the games. But it was interesting that they had Luigi be the one that got captured and not Princess like it normally is in all the games where Mario has to save the princess. So this time he had to save his brother. And, you know, with the voice acting, Jack Black was great. I think he did the best job in terms of voices. He was the only one that really tried to add something to the voice and make it sound like Bowser. Like Chris Pratt and Charlie Day was just kind of their voices with a little bit of Italianness to it. And then whoever did the Cranky Kong was in it. I think that was maybe Fred Armisen. I don't know, but whoever did the Cranky Kong voice, I did not like. I thought just didn't work for an older Donkey Kong type character. But I thought Seth Rogen worked great for Donkey Kong, just because he didn't even change his voice at all. It was just his voice, but it totally worked for the Donkey Kong, like, and how he looked, his design. So that worked. And, you know, it had a nice little dynamic between Mario and Donkey Kong where they kind of had to team up together, and they didn't really want to, but they had no choice. And of course, in the end, they eventually get over their differences and work together. La la la. So yeah, you know, filled with a lot of the basic tropes that you'd see in any animated film. The animation in itself was very nice. I mean, it kind of just looked like a really high-res version of a Super Mario game. You know, I'm hoping in a few more years the next Switch might look like this or something when you're playing the game. Who knows? But Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, I thought he was pretty good, though. You know, I mean, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad worked, but you know, at the same time, he was just there being the comic relief, as every movie like this always has to have at least one comic relief character, but he wasn't even really that funny. I kind of thought it would be more of a stretch in terms of the funniness, but it was just very, very generic, plain comedy. What was all this shit? And then there was like the penguins and the Penguin King in it, but they were barely in it. It was kind of a thing at the beginning where Bowser came up and took over their little ice planet, whatever it's called. And then that was kind of it. They were barely in it. That little, like, weird star that voiced by a kid was kind of funny because it had this weird darkness to it. Even though it was voiced by this, you know, little child who sounded sweet, but he kept talking about basically, it sounded like it wanted to die, which is kind of weird, bizarre thing to have in this movie. But then Mario himself, he was, you know, he worked. And Chris Pratt, the voice, really didn't bother me at all. Even from the get-go, I was just like, yeah, whatever. I mean, he sounded fine to me. I thought his voice sounded fine. Everyone's voice sounds fine. No problems with the voices really at all, except from, I thought, other than Cranky Kong, I thought that was a little weak. But the movie itself, I enjoyed it. Really didn't do anything spectacular that I was expecting it. It was pretty much exactly what I was expecting. Had a lot of nice little nods toward the other games, but how the world itself just worked was never explained in any way. It was just how it was. You would eat a mushroom, and for some reason it would make you big or small or invincible, and that's just how it was. So there was kind of a lack of a background to that, but that's probably me expecting too much from a kids movie based on a video game. So pretty much exactly what I expected for a Super Mario animated movie. I'm just glad that this movie came out and this movie exists. It's going to open up the door for more adaptations like this, and there's already so many in the pipe ready to come. So this is like the beginning. This year is the beginning of a new wave of video game adaptations that are going to become more of a thing, and I'm excited for that. But what did you guys think? I want you guys to let me know what you think of the Super Mario movie. Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was dumb? Did you think it was funny? Was it exactly what you were expecting? Which basically is how I feel about it. But I liked it. It was great. Had fun. Enjoyable. You're generally enjoyable kid movie. It was like a movie, even if you had no idea about Super Mario whatsoever, you'd probably see it and be like, okay. But you'd definitely enjoy it a lot more if you knew more about the Mario world. But if you liked the movie, comment below, let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to keep gaming as well.